Hello, my name is Pilar and I'm going to talk to you about some real examples of oral exams for the B1 level of English. The idea of this presentation is that you are going to listen to some real examples and I'm going to explain why they fail or passed. So let's start. These are some typical errors. I'll start playing the recording and stop when I see a point that I'd like you to listen to especially.
I think it's better renting.
Did you hear I thinks instead of I think? Let's carry on.
To apartment because it's more flexible for young people. For example, I can move the other city.
Again, I can move the other city instead of I can move to another city. And let's finish with this. Let's listen to a bit more.
I think it's cheaper and I can change apartment more better for my lifestyle, for example.
Okay, so you have some examples of hesitation in there, of false starts. They don't worry about them. If you make a mistake, you can always start the sentence again as you would do in your own language. That's not a problem. That's actually a proof of your high level of correcting yourself as you go. The reason for this fail is more grammatical than anything. Let's listen to the second one, to the second recording.
I will go to the police.
Okay, did you hear I will go into the police instead of I will go to the police? Let's carry on.
I will go to the police and I write in to denounce.
Okay, and again at the end she says to denounce. Denounce doesn't mean anything. I guess what she wanted to say was to denunciar, so to denounce. Again, the problem is grammatical and the pronunciation is not good enough, but it's mainly the failure for this. The problem for this failure was that the test was rather short. In fact, it lasts something like 6 seconds, and be careful with this and make sure that each of the recordings that you make are at least 1 minute long. The thing is, when you start speaking, you might make mistakes, but then as you carry on, you get less nervous and improve. And we need more than 6 seconds to be able to value the way you communicate. On a more positive note, let's see some more recordings. Let's hear them, rather.
Well, when I was younger, I used to go to the cinema with my boyfriend, and I used to go to the mountain too, to go for a walk. And I used to go with my friends and to the festivals or a music concert or to enjoy the night. And I used to go.
Okay, that's a good example. This exam shows that the intonation is not perfect, the pronunciation could be improved, but those problems don't automatically mean that you're going to fail. In the positive aspects, the student shows fluency, self-correction, as I marked before, so she's actually correcting herself as she speaks, making sure that when she makes a mistake, she goes back to the beginning of the sentence and puts it right. And even when she's thinking, she's hesitating, she's making noises and making sounds or saying words that are in English. She never goes into Spanish. So let's listen to the second example of a pass.
Advantages and disadvantages of renting or buying. I think it depends on your own situation. If you live in a place, in a city, forever, I think it's better buy a house, because you can decorate the house as you want, and I think could be an inversion for the future. But if you have not too much money, and if you are in a city because you are working there for not for a long time, it's better to rent a house.
Okay, I think that's enough. There are mistakes such as it's better buy instead of it's better to buy, or the word inversion instead of investment. But again, the student speaks fluently and uses different vocabulary, so there are positive points. The exams don't have to be perfect, but they have to prove that you actually have reached that level. As a summary, very brief summary, the most important points for the exams are remember to organize your thoughts. You have a minute after you listen to the question to organize your thoughts and prepare an answer. You can take some notes if you prefer, but make sure that you don't actually write an answer, because any exam that is actually read is automatically a fail. Speak slowly, giving yourself time to think about what you are saying and correct yourself, put your thoughts into straight sentences. Answer the questions fully. Don't make a very short answer that would be 6 or 7 seconds. Make sure that you give yourself a minute to prove your good level of competence. Again, be careful with intonation, with pronunciation, and with grammar. And try to make sure that you do your test as well as possible. Correct your answers as you go on, as you advance through the speech. That's not a problem. It's actually a good proof that your level is high enough, so you realize your own mistakes as you speak. And never speak Spanish in the test. So if you hesitate, make sure that you use words or sounds in English. Never go into Spanish. As a summary again, also remember that you can listen to your tests before you send it. And if you prefer, you can re-record it. You can record it again. You get another test and do it. You never get the same one twice, but at least you have another chance of actually starting from the beginning if you feel unsafe, insecure. The last piece of advice I will give you is that it's essential to practice as much as possible with friends, with your teacher, listening to English as much as you can. And once you're going to do the test, of course, try with the mock exams first. Make sure that your camera works, that the sound is correct. As you can hear in these recordings, some of the sound is very poor. So it makes our job of trying to mark these tests very difficult. So try to make sure that all those things are going to help you and are going to give a good impression to the tester. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for listening, and good luck.